I'm Alyah Yardan from Red Oak Middle School, and I would like to thank you for joining me today on this episode of Ask the Sup. Today with me I have Dr. Eric Cunningham, the Associate Superintendent for Administration and Operations. Thank you for coming, Dr. Cunningham.
Thank you for having me, Alyah.
Let's get right to the question. Dr. Cunningham, what does being the Associate Superintendent of Administrations and Operations entail?
Well, my job entails all those day-to-day operations that go into teaching and learning. For example, when you arrive to school, how do you get to school, Alyah?
The bus.
The bus, that's right. So that's the transportation department. And then once we drop you off, you go to the cafeteria for breakfast, and who serves you?
The lunch lady.
There you go, the food service department. That's another one of our departments. And then we go into a classroom that's well lit and warm and maintained by the operations department as well. So when you look at all those day-to-day functions that go in between teaching and learning, that's where you find our team.
How long have you worked in this position?
Well, I'm going into my third year here in Nash-Rocky Mount.
Is this position by appointment, or did you have to apply and interview?
I had to apply and interview with Dr. Jackson. So there is an interview process, and at first you have to apply. Then you're interviewed, and then Dr. Jackson makes his selection, and then he submits the recommendation for the board to the board for final approval.
What positions did you hold prior to this one?
Well, I started out as a teacher for a short period of time, and then you know what I became after that, Alyah?
A principal?
No, not a principal, but a school counselor.
Oh.
Which is the job that I loved, being a school counselor. And then after that, I was promoted directly from the school to the assistant director for personnel in the central office. And that's where I began to cut my teeth in administration. And I've worked my way up to this present position.
What departments make up administrations and operations, and how many staff members work there?
A lot of staff members work in the administration and operations team, and I like to refer to everybody as a team member. But let's just talk about transportation. You get up in the morning, you go to that bus stop, and who's there? Who's driving that bus?
Our bus driver.
That bus driver is part of the operations team. That bus driver delivers you safely to that school. We drop you off. You go to the cafeteria, and who's there waiting for you?
The lunch lady.
That's the second department, the food service department. And then when you see all the lights on and the warm and the heating and the air conditioning, that's the maintenance department working behind the scenes as well. But then when you also go into that classroom, who else do you see in there?
My teacher.
Your teacher, who was recruited by the human resources department. And then who do you see cleaning up the bathrooms?
The janitor.
There you go, and that's the custodial team. Those are many of the departments that make up the operations team.
What is your preferred method for process improvement for the district?
Well, all processes lead to student achievement, and when we look at processes, we have to look at some things. So let me just describe it this way. I have 2 daughters, Alyah. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And I get up in the morning and I say, let's clean up the house. And guess what they do, Alyah?
They clean up
their
room.
That's correct. They're in silos. They're thinking that cleaning up their room is the same as cleaning up the house, and it's not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not. So when we look at taking people out of those silos, I have to work with them to show them a better, more efficient way for cleaning up the house, which is our goal. So we get them to work together alongside each other, focused on the same goal, which improves the efficiency and effectiveness of the whole department.
What benefits has the division seen with these efforts?
Efficiency is always the major benefit. It goes back to the cleaning of the house. When we clean up the house and we're working together, we clean the house much faster, don't we?
Yes.
Which gives us a better opportunity to do things later on, don't we?
Yes.
Because we spend the time sooner cleaning the house, which allows our parents to give us more free time at the end because we finished all of our chores.
Sometimes.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
But isn't that nice to know?
Yes.
See? That's what we strive to do every day, to be efficient and effective with our resources. And when we do so, we're able to take those resources that we save, that time and money, and focus it where? Back in the classroom.
How do we get rated for efficient transportation?
I'm so proud of our transportation department. I get really excited about the things that we do well, because right now we're at like the 99th percentile and efficiency within the transportation department. Our champion of the transportation department is Mr. Benford Sloan, and he's worked really hard on the way that we deliver you to school every day. Because he is so efficient in doing so, we actually receive a bonus just, from the State Department, from the Department of Public Instruction every day. Now, when we receive those bonuses from the State Department, guess what happens? Fewer dollars have to be transferred from instruction to operation because Alyah, gas is gas. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It all costs the same. But if we can be more efficient with the money that we're spending and our energy savings, we will need less money transferred from instruction over to operations. And that's why I'm so proud of our transportation team.
How do we go about measuring these areas for maximized efficiency?
Alyah, that's an outstanding question. You've been doing your homework. Well, in Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools, we utilize a process and improvement formula called DMAIC: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So when we try to improve efficiency, what we're really striving to do is near perfection. What will it take for every child to be successful in Nash-Rocky Mount Public Schools? And that's what we strive to do every day by utilizing those principles that I explained.
Is operational efficiency guaranteed for our transportation department?
Alyah, we constantly have to look at new ways to maintain an effective operation. If we don't do this, then another school district will come and be more effective than us, and they will be awarded those additional points, which will result in additional dollars coming from the Department of Public Instruction. But when we look at who our team consists of, we have some champions that work in our transportation department, but we also have leveraged technology. Technology is the great equalizer. And when we look at how we are utilizing our GPS systems, because right now we can actually track every bus's location throughout our division. Have you noticed that?
No.
You can even go online and look at your bus stop.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
You do that?
Yeah.
See, that's our GPS system. And that keeps us efficient because you know what by looking online?
I know where my bus is. I know what bus number I ride.
And what time?
Yeah.
It will be where?
At my house.
There you go. So we strive to keep that as tight as we can every year.
In recent years, weather has affected our school day, our school system. So how do you go about changing the school day or whether we go to school or not?
Last year was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a lot of makeup days. We had to reconfigure our calendar. We have to do some things to keep the number of days and hours that we're required to teach every year. We get up early in the morning. First we start watching the weather forecast to see what is actually coming down the pike. Then our transportation team, we get up in the morning and one goes north, one goes south, one goes east, one goes west, and we blanket the entire school division, and we radio back because we are actually assessing those road conditions. Once we get all of that information, we conference and advise Dr. Jackson as to what we think the conditions are, if they're actually safe and passable for all of our students who are riding the bus, but all of our car drivers as well. So we've broken it down into 3 codes. Code 0 means no one reports to work. Conditions are too hazardous, everyone stay home. Code 1, 1 hour delay. And code 2 is?
2 hour delay.
There you go.
How does your job affect us, the students, our teachers, and other staffs at Nash-Rocky Mount Schools?
Well, another good question. So when you look at all the things that go in between teaching and learning, think about all of the activities that have to go into play in order for you to teach and learn every day. I am extremely proud of the job that my team does every day because it keeps you in a warm, safe, comfortable environment where those teachers can really get down to the business of teaching and learning, which is our mission.
What is your favorite part of the job?
Seeing you graduate. Every year when I'm out there with Dr. Jackson and I'm gonna watch you shake the hand. Who's going to be your principal in high school? Which high school are you going to, Alyah?
I think I want to go to early college.
You're going to go to early college. So that's Miss Catalano. So Miss Catalano's going to be in her captain gown, and you're going to walk up there, and you're going to shake her hand, and she's going to give you your diploma. And I have to say, Alyah, that's the day that I actually tear up, because I know that there have been certain processes that had to be into play for you to get that, to earn your diploma. And then when you take your picture with Dr. Jackson and you're all smiling, and I look over my shoulder and I see your mom and dad all proud, that is when I know that I'm doing a good job.
What else would you like to share with our viewers before we go?
That a lot goes into teaching and learning, and that, our goal every day is for every child to be successful and to take full advantage of the educational opportunities that lay before them. I want to see every child in Nash-Rocky Mount take full advantage of the educational opportunities that are here for you, because a lot of resources are being poured out into you to be competitive, to learn, and to be adaptive. And so I just want to tell all of you, go forward, be bold, be strong.
Unfortunately, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you, Dr. Cunningham, for joining us. I'm Alyah Yardan. Have a great day.